Hey you guys, so if you're new to this channel, first things first, this is what we're going to do every time at the start of the video. I want you to get a candle or incense, or I have Palo Santo right now. I know a lot of Christian folk don't like this, but listen, it says in the Old Testament that they had to emit smells, good smells to the Lord at the altar. So I'm saying this because we should have good smells when we're talking about rearranging our mind, our spirit, or our emotions, because smells help us. Good smells, cleansing, healing smells help us. So I'm gonna light this Palo Santo really fast. And this helps. This helps get your mind and your spirit and your emotions ready to receive goodness, right? To receive goodness. So lit my Palo Santo. I just want to smell it. So I'm gonna put it back here. Point it slightly towards me. Make sure that it's not on the little plants. All right. So we're gonna get started. So what we're gonna talk about today is you are not lazy, you're just wounded. I had to remember, you are not lazy, you're just wounded. And this is so important because so often as human beings, we own the characteristics that diminish our greatness so quickly. And we own them much more quickly than we own the characteristics of ourselves that allow us to mirror the greatness that's inside of us, right? So this is important because a lot of us are owning our wounds, right? And are worshiping our wounds and not understanding that us owning and worshiping our wounds is causing us to exist in a pattern of laziness. But you're not lazy. Hear this. You're not lazy because you aren't capable. You're lazy because you're wounded. Remember as a child, I know I do. Remember as a child when you would skin your knee or you would fall. For me, I would go in the house. Most of the time my grandparents watched me. I would go in the house and my grandmother would say, just sit on the couch, right? I would stop playing. One, because I was embarrassed because I was wounded. The other thing is that I would hurt myself and I would feel so much pain, it would stop the activity that I was doing in the moment, whether it was kickball or whatever kids of my generation used to play, kickball, jump rope, whatever it was. So this is the same as for you as an adult, is that you have received wounds. You are in pain, my dear. You are in pain. And what is happening is the pain is interfering with the activity that you once offered to your life, right? The wound of betrayal has interfered with you going out and making friendships or going out and meeting new people. The wound of failure has caused you to stop the activity of planning goals, of creating success in your life. The wound of let's say something else. The wound of heartbreak is causing you to has caused you to stop believing that maybe there is someone out there for you that you will be in relationships with. So do you see what I'm getting at? Is that the wounding of your life has caused you to be lazy about your life, right? The wounding of your life has caused you to be lazy about your life. So just think about that for a minute. And think about the wounding that you're experiencing right now. One of the woundings that I'm experiencing right now, and I'm not going against, because you don't go against your wounding, that I'm understanding more and more is that, and not owning, is that there are moments when I allow people in my life that that is not, what's the word? Because I don't want somebody to watch this. I allow people in my life that is not meant for my life, right? that just because someone's nice, it doesn't mean you then have to hang out with them. This is for me. Just because someone seems funny, it doesn't mean you have to go out to dinner with them. Just because someone seems like they're on a path of success, it doesn't mean now you have to sit down and partner with them. That just because you see the goodness in someone, it doesn't mean you have to allow them into your life, because sometimes their goodness should not settle in the life that you're trying to create, right? In the life that you're trying to create, is that the wounding that I'm trying to rearrange in my life is that everybody ain't meant for you, Megan. And I'm not talking about romantically. I have a partner. I'm not talking about romantically. I'm talking about everybody in terms of friendship, or in terms of business partnership, or in terms of spending time with. Everybody ain't meant for your life. You know, to honor my life in such a way where I am careful about what doors are open to folks that I meet in my life, right? Just like your life ain't meant for everybody, every door ain't meant for everybody. Everybody can't just walk in the White House, right? You need a visitor pass. You need to, this is making me laugh. You need to pass a security check. Everybody ain't meant for the White House, right? So I'm trying to start treating my life as if it's the White House. Everybody ain't, but it's the Black House because I'm Black. Everybody ain't meant to walk through the doors of your life. Maybe they meant to step a toe in. And so I'm preaching to myself right now, but maybe that's meant for you too. But maybe they not meant to walk all the way in. Maybe they just meant to get in the lobby and not in the living room, right? So that's a wound that I'm coming face to face with. Think about the wounds of your life, right? And are you worshiping your wounds? Because if you worship your wound enough, the wound will become a reality instead of the wound becoming a lesson, right? You worship your wounds enough, it will be your reality. You worship your heartache enough, you will only look for heartache. You'll think you're looking for love, but you'll only look for heartache because that's what you're practicing, right? If you worship your failures enough, you're only going to fail. I don't care how bad you try to succeed. You're only going to fail because what you're planning or thinking about over and over again are the plans that failed, not the plans that succeed. Everybody doesn't have failures, only failures in their life. We also have success. But if we practice our failure, we'll never see our success. So whatever wounds you're worshiping will become your reality. Will become your reality. I remember I was a chaplain in this psychiatric hospital, and a gentleman that came in over and over again to the psychiatric hospital, which is fine. There's no shame. Sometimes we need a tune-up. But he said to me one day, I come in here because it helps me to face my wound. And I said to him, well, you don't know your wound is about to erupt in your life. And he said, yeah, it's just I allow myself to go to the edge so I can come back in here. So basically, what that gentleman said is that I allow my wounding to take me to the edge of my pain so I can exist in chaos for a minute, come in here, interrupt my life, right? Remember what we said in the beginning is that when you're wounded, it interrupts your life, interrupts my life. And I stay in here for 7 days, a month, 3 weeks, whatever. And then I go back out into the world. But this cycle happens every 3 months for him. So what if he actually, instead of making his wound the reality that creates the cycle, that he makes his wound the lesson that interrupts the cycle he's on and allows him to create a new cycle that is healthy for his life. Because continuously allowing the chaos of your wound to take you to the edge of your pain, where you do something, where you're in a cycle that is unhealthy for your life, is making your wound a reality. Let me make this more plain. Let me make this a way that we all can understand it, right? Say your wound is heartache. You know I've had friends like this. You know someone is about to break your heart, right? You can feel it. You could see it, you can sense it. You know they're about to break your heart, but you don't care. You don't stop it. Because the pain of that wounding is so much your reality that you allow it to take you to the edge. And the edge of that is that person, you finding out that person is actually breaking your heart. Maybe you catch them cheating. Maybe you go through their phone and see something. Maybe you push it to the edge so much that they have to tell you that they have to treat you badly, right? So you go to the edge of that heartache, and then you start going, see, my life I'll never meet somebody, or this is, nobody will ever love me, or I'm in such pain, and now I'm not going to hang out, or I'm just going to sit in here depressed. It moves you to the edge. That wounding of heartache moves you to the edge so much that it causes you to exist in the chaos of that wounding, right? It happens to all of us. It allows you to exist in the chaos of the wounding. I'm going to tell you 3 things of how to stop existing in the chaos of the wounding, because you aren't lazy. You aren't lazy in love. You aren't lazy in your job. You aren't lazy in creating your career. You aren't lazy in creating your life. It's just that your wounding has been more impactful, right? Your wounding has been more impactful in your life than your own greatness, right? You were born with greatness. Everybody was. You were born with greatness. God says that I formed you before the world even knew you, right? I formed you. I consecrated you. I formed you before this world, this dimension even knew you. So all of us were born with greatness. The wounding that we experience chips at the greatness, right? When Jesus was baptized by John the Baptist and God said, okay, I'm going to usher you, because it says the Spirit of God ushered Jesus into the wilderness and came face to face with the devil. All the devil was trying to do is chip at the greatness of Jesus, rearrange the greatness of Jesus, right? By wounding him just a little bit, by making it seem as if what God had told Jesus was not really what it really was, right? Like if God said, if the devil said, well, God said, you're my son, you're the son in whom I am well pleased. And it says that you can command angels, throw yourself off of here and tell the angels to come to you. All the devil was trying to do was rearrange the greatness of Jesus just enough so he could worship the wounding and not the greatness that God put in him, right? Not the greatness because the wounding would have been, let's clear this up really fast. The wounding would have been, if Jesus would have done that, the wounding would have been, let me show you what I can do, right? Let me prove to you who I am. So many of us, our wounding is proving to others who we are, and we get into trouble because we start living our life based on the opinions, based on the concepts of other people instead of who we are internally, who we believe we are internally. And who we believe we are internally will always be attached to who people think we are, if we always live a wounded life of trying to prove who we are to people. I hope that made sense. So here are 3 ways to release your wounding. 1, name it. Nobody was born wounded. Wounds were passed down to you. You interacted with someone who was wounded, which then gave you a wound, right? Or you were in situations that wounded you. 1, name the wound, right? Name the wound. The reason why I accepted people into my life, that's my wounding, as they were, and I just let anybody walk through the doors of my life, because at one point in my life. I was so lonely as a child, as a teen. I was terribly lonely. And I just yearned for friendships and yearned for people, to spend time with people and to be around people. So when I started really gaining relationships and gaining friendships, I let anybody into my life, no questions asked. And I was hurt and betrayed in so many different ways. So one, name it, right? I know where that wounding comes from. I know what it is. The name of that wounding is let anybody into my life because I don't think my life is anything of value, right? Right? Trace it back. I traced it back. So one, you have to name the wound, then trace it. I'm tracing that wound back to my childhood, right? I see where it came from. I know why it happened. Then 3, release it. I'm releasing it right now by understanding how valuable my life is. So those are 3 things to release that wounding spirit in your life, right? Because you're not lazy, you're wounded. 1, name the wound. What is the wound, right? Is it heartache? Is it betrayal? Is it anxiety? Name the wound. Trace it to where it came from. Because it wasn't there when you were born. It wasn't there when you were born. Right? And you didn't make it happen, right? So trace it back to where it started and then release it. All of this is to say, don't own your wounds, own your greatness. Your wounding is not the address of your greatness, right? It's just a lesson to make you familiar with how great you are. All right? So you are not lazy, you're wounded. Listen, if this video did something to you, I want you to subscribe. I want you to follow me, more to come. And if you think this will help someone, right, send it to them. Because so many of us, we think we're lazy. You're not lazy. You just licking your wounds. That's all you're doing. But those wounds don't own you. Your greatness does. All right. So I want you to check back. I'm going to post a video once a week on Mondays. Monday morning, I'm going to post a video once a week. And let's do this. And remember, get your incense together, get your candles, get your Palo Santo, because we want the smell goods happening while we rearrange our spiritual, emotional, and mental senses. All right. Chosen one. I'll see you next time.